How's it going, everyone? Happy Shin Godzilla Day. Happy 8th anniversary to Shin Godzilla. Got quite a bit going on this stream, and by quite a bit, I mean not really a lot. We're just going to be sitting here talking about Shin. We also have this very mystery unboxing right here that has been here since like 11 a.m., and I somehow haven't opened it yet, despite how excited I am for this. So, hopefully we can have an enjoyable stream here, just talking about Shin for a little bit. Hour and a half, maybe two, if there's enough discussion going on about Shin Godzilla. But I just wanted to say, right off the bat, thank you all for watching the content, supporting the Shin Godzilla collection short that came out this morning. I really do appreciate it, which that video that played right at the beginning is just a horizontal version, a more video version teaser of that one. So thank you guys for supporting it. It's got like a lot of views already. It's out like around 400. So we're gonna get this stream going. We're gonna get this unboxing going because I actually cannot wait any longer for this. This is so excited. So excited. Are you guys excited? Are you guys ready for Shin Day? Have you guys watched Shin yet? Shin today? I have watched it 3 times. Today already. I watched it 3 times. Me and Tater both did. Taterson are laying right down over there. So he's probably going to come up and say hi at some point once he's done being lazy. It was really hot out today. So I am really excited about what's in this box. Let's do that first. Can't be a Shin Godzilla Day without a celebratory buy box. So some of you might know because I have said what it is, and some of you might not know what this is. This is something that just came out last week. Yeah, last week. Had a friend that was at the event. Wasn't able to pick more than one up, which is a-okay. Plenty came up on on the aftermarket. And although I didn't get the cheapest one, we did get a pretty good deal on one of these. There's actually, at least as of 2 nights ago, there's still a few of these on buy for under $200. I would recommend if you like what I'm about to show you, and if you need my review within the next few days to convince you guys on getting this, then I would recommend getting it. GMK guy, how's it going? How's it going? Let's open her up, eh? Protective packaging helps the pack or the items not get damaged in shipment. Also, great for me when I sell something. Extra packing for me, so I don't have to go keep buying bubble wrap. Double meta. Holy cow, this thing is huge. All right. Unsurprisingly. Ooh. Tape all around. Tater's trying to help me. Good man, just peeping in while at work. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I don't have to work for another day or two. Do you guys know what it is now? Y'all know what this is? Not yet? Alright. One more layer. This is the first colorway. Lottery exclusive. Marusan 350 Shin Godzilla 4th form figure. That is right. We have got Marusan Shin Godzilla in the house. What's Ryan 5 or Watts Rin 5? I actually don't know how to pronounce your name. How's it going? We have got the next new Marusan mold, and it's Shin Godzilla. I'm very excited. Holy cow, this thing is beautiful. It is huge. Even for 350, this is on the larger side. Should we take the header off? Should we do this live? We're going to do this live. Let's take the header off. Let's get it out of the box. Get these primal first reactions to a brand new Sofubi Shin Godzilla mold. Yeah, that's right, a new one. A new one we're going to have to buy colors and colors and colors of. Mainly the glitters. I'm going to buy so many glitters of these. It's not going to be good for the wallet. So with Marusan, now after this, we have the second form, which the review is going to drop after the live stream. So be on the lookout on the channel for that. We have the second form. We have the fourth form. We're just waiting on the third form, which I'm going to guess he dropped the fourth form this month for the anniversary. But you never know. Maybe the third form wasn't ready yet. And then a second colorway of the second form should be dropping within the month, I believe. A few weeks. Thought there'd be a few at Summer Wonder Fest. There was not. Don't know the colorways. So, heard rumors, but nothing confirmed, so I'm not going to spread anything wrong just in case if it happens to not be and disappoint someone. Here it is. Oh, that leg was stuck. Whoa, okay, holy cow. Hey. Oh my goodness. Tater was licking up his leg, and that was so loud. Hopefully you guys didn't hear it. That was obnoxious. Get all these joints moving. Holy cow. I wish my boys were in the chat. They told me they are very excited to see my reaction. This thing is gorgeous. Made it just in time. How everyone's going. Hey, Goji Slayer. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. We just got the new fourth form Marusan unboxed. Very, very excited about this. It was larger than I thought it was going to be. And this thing is just super, super beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I forget the camera's now on this side because we've changed angles. Super good Shin. I have to go now for buy. Yes. 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 There, at least from the other day, there was a few still left and they were under 200. So I would recommend. There you go. Gotta open up gotta get the joints moving. They're a little stuck. Look at this guy. Look at it, I should say. Shin actually doesn't have a gender. So I'll turn the light on for a second. Is that too bright? Yeah, it is. There you go. Get a little bit of those finer details on this Shin. Don't want to spoil too much before the reviews, but there it is. Fourth form Marusan 350 Shin Godzilla. So glad it arrived on the anniversary. That is crazy to me. Just wild. This thing is so detailed. I cannot wait to see other colorways of this. I need those in plushies in the back. Where'd you get them from? I got them from Bai. These are long out of print. These are Sega. This one doesn't have the tag. Third form does. I believe they're the Sega ones. I believe this is the 2 foot, and then yeah, they're both the 2 foot. So I don't know if they're still on Bai. I got some of the last ones when I was looking for them. So, and I still need to get the 3.5 foot, the body pillow Shin Godzilla, Kamada-kun. So that's going to cost me some dimes. So not very excited about that, but we'll get it. We'll get it because we have to get that Kamada-kun. It is so freaking cute. Same colorway, except this one's a little bit more, a little lighter. Can you guys see that? A little lighter. It's pretty cool. But the Marusans are in scale with each other. This is the 350 Kamada-kun. And I'm guessing the third form will also be in scale. There we go. So somewhere in the middle of these two. Probably about halfway. A thigh. Maybe a little less. That'll be cool. Hopefully it's this colorway, so the first ones of each all match. I'm going to assume they are, seeing as this Shin is this colorway and Kamada-kun's this colorway. So when the third gets announced, you guys will know. I'll let y'all know. We'll do a stream reaction where I just sit there and cry and guzzle more Shin Godzilla products. So exciting, exciting, exciting. that's going to be it for the unboxing portion. Let's dive right in. Let's get to talking about Shin. So the movie marathon, which is going to, hopefully the next episode is either going to be Wednesday or Sunday. We're going to pick back up. We are Godzilla against Mechagodzilla is the next Kaiju stream. I can't even remember what it's called. It's been so long. Whoopsie. That's the next stream for the movies. So I'm going to try to be careful about how much I talk about the movie Shin Godzilla here, because eventually, once we get to that live stream, I still want to have content there. I almost thought about just making this one a larger, broader episode of it and just making it about Shin Godzilla, but I decided against that. So I do want to kind of just like talk about a few of the things I haven't yet on Shin Godzilla. I kind of went back, kind of looked at a few of the things that I watched or talked about last year for Shin Godzilla's 7th anniversary, and then I do believe I made a discussion video the year before as well on the anniversary, just talking about Shin for the 6th, and I kind of know a few things that I never talked about and some things that I did some research on. So some of the things that I just want to show off, some things that I don't own yet, is a movie poster. Here's the English Godzilla movie poster. It's Shin Godzilla movie poster. I did not get to go see this back in the day. Funny enough, Shin Godzilla is my favorite Godzilla movie, and it is not one I've seen in theaters yet. Very regrettably, I have not seen Shin Godzilla in theaters. So the second that I can get to an event or it gets a rerun, whatever Toho wants to do here in the US, I will figure out a way and I will go to it. Or hopefully maybe next year G-Fest will have it playing. Although I expect them not to play it until 2026, because then it'll be the 10th anniversary of Shin Godzilla, so it makes more sense to wait till then, but we'll see. They normally don't play the same movie within the year's time, so I would guess 2026. Nice Shin collection. I have the Passion Tank Shin on the way. Nice. The Passion Tank is beautiful. It doesn't matter which colorway it is. They're all beautiful. It's one of the best sculpts for Shin, man. It is just Fubi enough, and it's just stylized and also almost movie accurate in some areas. I kind of wish I would have brought one of mine down now. I love the Passion Tank. Love it. So glad that you got one on the way. Which one? One of the new Wonderfests? Is it the rainbow one? Do you got the rainbow one coming in? I'm watching a few of them. I don't think I'm gonna get paid, or I'm gonna have enough available funds in the next month before they start going up in price. So, but we'll see. We'll see. They're on my to buy list, but we'll see. So yeah, I haven't seen Shin in theaters yet. Here's the Japanese poster. I do own a wall mount. A wall art, I believe they're called. Hot Topic had them. Big Bad Toy Stores had them a few times. I do have this one. Got the marble purple thing? Yes. I have the red marble, and I really would like the purple marble to coincide with my red ones. So they both got a re-release this winter Wonderfest, or this summer Wonderfest. So I got to watch out for one of them. I do. They're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Congrats, dude. The two marbles are insanely beautiful in person. Photos and video do not do the two justice. Once you get the vinyl out and you're looking at it, it's telling you it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Here's the normal movie poster, though. I do have one of these, not in paper form yet. I don't have any Shin Godzilla posters because for some reason there's none on the internet. There's none on eBay. There's no authentic ones. There's a bunch of reproduced ones. The red one looks amazing too. Yes. I just don't know why. So I'm struggling. And then I kind of knew about it before, but I didn't really know if it was real or not. And then I did some digging this morning before I took a nap. Not that one. The US teaser had this poster, and I would love to find this poster and have this in my collection. God help us. What an awesome poster. This poster goes so hard. The normal poster already goes really hard, but man, I love this poster. I really do. There's a few more out there. There's actually, from the premiere of Shin Godzilla, the US premiere, there's a Godzilla Resurgence poster that is floating around that was able to get signed by basically everyone that worked on the movie. And that was at the event, which is almost everyone. I think even Anno was over here for that special event. But it says Godzilla Resurgence on it instead of Shin Godzilla, so you know. I know that's technically one of the translations, but Shin Godzilla just sounds personally so much better to me. And it's once it was kind of revealed that it was going to stay like that and not Godzilla Resurgence, I just didn't look back. So, and now I just call it Shin, even though I could be talking about Ultraman or Kamen Rider or Evangelion. So it's always Shin. If I'm talking about Shin, I'm talking about Godzilla. All right. You guys know Shin Godzilla is very special to me. I guess I've never explained that. Why it's so special. For me, I didn't, like I said, I didn't get to see it during the premiere. Mechagodzilla poster version. How's it going? How's it going, buddy? I didn't get to see Shin Godzilla in theaters. I had to wait until the following August when it got a Blu-ray release, because that's back when Blu-rays for some reason took forever to come out. And I had to wait till August 2017 because it dropped like the 2nd or the 3rd, I believe. I love Shin Godzilla. Good. Shin Godzilla is same. I had to wait till the Blu-ray came out, and I remember I had just moved out of my mom's. I moved to the town I was in previously, and I didn't have a lot of money left from my job because the transfer didn't go in right away. I was they made me wait like 3 weeks, even though I had done it like a few weeks before I was leaving and moving out. So I didn't have a lot of money left. I had one more I was expecting the week after, but I had to use that for gas for a concert. And one of the first things I bought when I got here is I went to Walmart. I got all moved in, went out on release day, and I bought the Blu-ray. Should have brought it up. I brought the Blu-ray on release day, and I got my TV set up. I got my TV and my Xbox 360 set up in the place that I was living in for a little bit, or the temporary place, we'll call it. We had that, and I watched it immediately. It's the first thing I did once I moved to the town I was in and got into the house, got everything in. I watched Shin Godzilla, and it blew me away. Back in the day, I wasn't excited about it being a solo Godzilla movie. I wanted versus movies. That's, I think a lot of us when we're younger, we want the versus movies a little bit more. Most of the time, not everybody. But most of the time, we want the versus movies. We want Godzilla fighting something. And I was so excited about this design. And then it was a solo movie. And I remember I was initially kind of disappointed, but I was going to give it a chance. Leaks came out, the trailers came out, Japanese premiere goes out, we get those clips of Shin Godzilla doing the atomic breath from his back and from his tail, and everyone's freaking out, whether they're freaking out in a good way or a bad way. And it was at that moment I fell in love with Shin Godzilla, a little bit after the premiere. And now, 2017, when I watch it, I feel it all for the first time. I understand why everyone was so blown away by it, whether in a good or a bad way. And I get it. It's one of the most different feeling Godzilla films, thanks to Hideaki Anno and Shinji Higuchi directing this film. It feels very, very different. And even now, fast forwarding to here, I've kind of talked about, well, maybe -1's my favorite film and Shin Godzilla's my favorite film. After watching these two back and forth, like watching one and then watching the other, Shin Godzilla there's just a little bit extra to Shin Godzilla for me. I don't know. I don't really know what to put my finger on, but I love this movie. I do. I really do love this. The acting, the plot, the parody of the political climate in Japan, the meaning behind this movie and what it means for Japan and anyone in Japan during the 3/11 tragedy. There's just so much that's in this movie that it's just amazing. It's epic to me. And then you got this. Look at this. All the DVDs basically are either just completely black with the logo, or it's red background, silhouette of Shin, and that's it. This movie goes so hard. The posters, they don't have to be overcomplicated. They can literally just darken Godzilla, throw a red background on it, throw the logo on it, and just say, "Oh, we're done." It is such a cool design that I think for me that's what really carries it. It's the design, especially now, being a Safubi guy. Sorry, I want to get put down there. Being a Safubi guy, I can't. I don't have everything. I don't have every mold. I definitely don't have every release. But I'm working on getting all of the Shin Godzilla molds. Their Hidden Message and Iwakube Easter trailers. Yeah, yeah, I've been told that. I actually haven't listened to it before, but after the stream, be the first thing I do to reverse Who Will Know. Cool, cool. I'll reverse it. We'll see if I hear it, which I probably will. I'm kind of a music nut, so I have heard about those Easter eggs. I just actually haven't delved much deeper. Excuse me, into it. That's cool to know. Thank you, Nilo. Thank you. The design, no matter what you do with it remains itself. Like you can really distort Shin. You can really let's just take this Marusan for example. I would say this is kind of starting to get out of the normal Shin design. The head is completely different, right? Completely different. The body, the legs kind of fit. Dorsal plates are basically the dorsal plates are Shin Godzilla plates. The tail, nice and long, but it's still Shin. This defo reel right here, completely different from the actual design there in the back with the gigantic and the Yuji Sakai. But it's Shin. I could sit here and grab all my different Safubis and show you that no matter what, know how different they are from each other and how different they are from the design, they end up just being Shin. Not unrecognizable, the opposite. It's so recognizable, and it is such a fun design that all these sculptors, whether it's Fubi, Monster Arts, Bandai, they've just had a lot of fun changing up the design and also struggling a lot of the time to reproduce the CGI model, even with the CGI files. A lot of people seem to be having trouble, and I just love it. I absolutely love it. This design, it's menacing. It's got horror. I mean, the face and the teeth are scary, quote unquote. It has got the weirdest powers, I think, in the whole franchise. It shoots its atomic breath out of its back and its tail, and it instantly evolves. And it tries to evolve so much that it starts making humanoid creatures out of its tail right before it's fully frozen. There's no other Godzilla that's had such a weird array of things. Like we've seen Godzilla do weird things like flying, jumping jack, victory chants. We've seen a lot of different things from Godzilla, but there's just something so off-puttingly different from this one. Even with -1 now in the game, it's just so uniquely different. I think some of it also comes from its its almost stoic nature. Stoic's not correct. It doesn't have a personality. Shin is personality less. There is no personality. It literally reacts as a god or as an animal, where when it's hurt, it responds. When it's just doing its own thing, it doesn't seem like it's enjoying it. It doesn't seem like it's hating it either. It's just moving forward. It's a wall. It is nature's perfect representation as what he is supposed to represent in the movie. Also, persecution of the masses when reversed. Heroic. P.S. I like your Shin collection so far. Thank you. I've got a lot. I remember getting the art of Shin Godzilla, and it has all the concept art. Yep, I have the art of Shin Godzilla as well, but I can't just show those off during stream. That can actually get copyrighted. To me, he's both cute and scary. Those eyes are too cute for me. See, and that's the other. That's going about the design and changing it. Shin Godzilla can look really, really adorable and look really, really menacing all at once. The X Plus, both of those back there, look horrifying. They look mean and evil. And then you switch it up to this guy. This thing is cute. This thing is adorable. I love it. The eyes help. The teeth help. It's like a bulldog. Don't look at me. He knows what bulldog is. He knows that he is bulldog. I don't think he quite knows what bulldog is, but he knows. Tater knows. But it's kind of like this bulldog look almost, and it does something for me in ways that no Godzilla design has ever done. Ever. I'm going to look at a few more comments here. Always wished we got Monster Arts or Sofubi of the human Godzilla form. Anything's possible. I know it's not impossible because sculptors and kit producers have been able to make one-day licensed kits version. So maybe, Monster Arts, as much as I do enjoy Monster Arts, they are very about money and doing things for money. I think it would sell very well. I mean, Ortho has sold very well for the most part. Awakening, Frozen didn't, but that's the only Shin Godzilla they've released that hasn't done very well. It's Frozen, and then I would put the Ortho right above it. I think it sold a little bit better, but not quite as good. And then the G-Store exclusives, and then probably the first release, Night Combat, and then Awakening, I think, is number one. But they like money. I can see them just saving that for a surprise. And I hope so as well. I hope we do get whether it is Monster Arts or it's a Sofubi or even a Bandai of the human forms. I think they need to be represented. I think X Plus should do a Toho Maniacs or I got told what the line is for the King Caesar statue, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it seems like that's going to go for more accurate display pieces. Maybe they'll do the Shin Godzilla tail with all the humans coming out of it. It'd have to be a little bit smaller because that thing's going to be detailed as hell, but maybe that's something they'll do in their line if requested enough. And I think there's a few kits out there for the tail. If Shin adapts, excuse me. Des adapts. If Shin can't, he be stronger. See, I love Shin. I definitely don't mind saying Shin's not the strongest, though. Especially because if Shin can't adapt fast enough, which in most cases, if you're putting Shin against any of the other Godzillas, he's not going to adapt quick enough. The only thing he's going to have on the Showas and the early Heisei designs is the fact that he's much taller. Ow. Yeah, bit by a mosquito, I think, outside. Sorry. But in a hypothetical, if Shin can defend himself long enough from any of the other kaiju, I think he would have a great chance at evolving into doing something to be able to stop them. But Shin is not a one-on-one, up-close kind of guy. He can't punch. I mean, even this Marusan with its longer arms can't really punch either. He's not going to be swinging any hits, especially not on Godzilla 2000 or 62, who have very long arms. But you never know. Maybe, hypothetically, we could get a Shin form where he does have stronger bear arms. We could see something a little bit more hunting, because that would be kind of scary, I'm not going to lie. Runs out of energy quickly, yeah. And then Shin just blows through his energy very, very quickly. Although, he was adapting as the movie went on. He definitely had more energy at the end of the last fight because he was able to run out of energy, and then while being down and out, he was able to charge up another atomic breath, and then he was loading into another one or some sort of new move that he's adapting to use right before he gets frozen, because he is glowing purple as he goes away. He starts to glow purple at least, so as he lets out that one final defense roar. So never know what was going on. Could have been an evolution, a new beam attack to stop everyone. Maybe he could have just been blowing more atomic breath out of the mouth and tail. We don't really know. When you just look at the movie, we know from concepts and things that have been said after the fact that there was more. One thing, I guess it's probably better to talk about it here. The ending that we have was not the original planned ending. The original planned ending was much, much darker. But Toho kind of said, no, it's too dark. It was not going to be a happy ending. And basically, where the movie ends, it would have continued. Shin would have split from humans, and then they would have pulled an end of Evangelion, basically, almost to a T, kind of what's suggested in the concept art and from interviews. I believe there's a few interviews. I don't know if Anno talked about it or Higuchi did, but Shin was supposed to go into. I'd be happy seeing Shin win. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind dark art, and especially now, after Shin, after the Shin Japan Heroes universe, seeing Evangelion, I definitely would not have minded a more of end of Eva style ending to the film, to really put in that there can't be a sequel, where we are kind of left at a turning point, and there was going to be a sequel, and then there isn't. I don't think there ever will be. I 100%, I truthfully believe Shin will always just be left like this. Now, if Anno wants to come back later down the line, which he is known for doing, and do another one, or Higuchi, I have no idea what they're going to do. I don't. You'd basically have to, I say Godzilla can't, unfreeze himself, and then he unfreezes himself, but I don't know. And then you'd have to evolve. I guess he could cocoon in the frozen form, pop out like a moth or a butterfly, and then we could finally get that winged version of Shin that we've teased in the concept art. You never know. You really never know with Shin. A sequel to Shin would be wild. I just don't see it happening. I just don't. Regrettably. But it would be cool. It'd be really, really cool. So you hear that, Bandai, you hear that Monster Arts, you hear that Safubi companies, give us the human form. I want human forms. Godzilla winning is something I consider a happy ending. In most cases, yes. In Shin, even as much as I love for Shin, and I don't blame Shin for doing what it is because it's a force of nature, Shin Godzilla winning at the end of the movie would, personally for me, in my opinion, is not a good ending, but that's also human nature finally reaping what they sow, especially in that movie. I think, if there's a sequel diving a little bit more into the Goromaki backstory, really getting detailed with it, would be good as well. Oh my goodness. You got cuddles today and pets, you got outside, and yet you're still needy, aren't you? You're a good boy. Guys, hear the bulldog? He's under the camera now. He's trying to mope for my attention, so I'm going to be petting him here for a little bit to make sure he doesn't get too sad. Speaking of Tater's favorite Godzilla movie, or one of his favorite Godzilla movies, is Shin Godzilla as well. It's the first one we sat down and watched with him when we got him, and he loves it. He loves the soundtrack. He gets all ear perky when he hears the Shin Godzilla soundtrack. Um, we watched it today. Like I said, it was one of the 3 viewings we watched. We watched it in here. Normally, he doesn't hang out in my office. He likes to sleep in our bed. And normally, I'm supposed to be sleeping during the day because I work overnights. But I kind of messed up my schedule last night. Passed out around 2 my time. And then slept until 8. So I've been up all day for the most part besides my nap. And we got to watch Shin Godzilla a few times. And normally, he doesn't lay in here with me. He likes to go sleep in the bed. But he stayed in here and he stayed awake, watched the TV. He loves Shin Godzilla. He is a Shin Godzilla bulldog, aren't you? Come here. Oh, he's being lazy. Let's bring down the camera. You guys want a little bit of break? Come here. Come here. Come here, bulldog. Come here. The tater. There he is. He's so cute. Can't have a stream without showing off the pup, can we? No. Because he needs attention. What does Shin do even if he wins? And that's the other big question. It's like, what does Shin do? Like, what is the end game for Shin? And I would guess that would be something through evolution. That would be, maybe the next evolution or a few evolutions in after the human form, he would start to become sentient and then would start to have a personality, which I don't know if I want that per se. I really do like him not just being him. That would be the slowest world destruction ever. I'm sure there would be a way for him to charge because he can live in hydrogen and oxygen. That's all he really needs. Don't eat the cardboard box, you grump. Oh, you want your toy? That's under there. There you go. There you go, buddy. There you go. Sorry. You wanted a toy. So I guess I don't really know. I think he would find a way, though, to evolve his atomic breath to be more widespread. Put it at more of a, what are you doing? Well, you're just being naughty to get my attention, aren't you? Goodness. Silly boy. He's looking at the boxes in my closet right now. I guess he wants to unbox some X Pluses again. It's been a while since he's been in here for an X Plus unboxing. I would think Shin Godzilla. Oh, okay. Here's a good example. Here's a great example. How about this? Instead of me just sitting here with ums and oohs and getting distracted, you got any of y'all know Dragon Ball, or specifically Dragon Ball Z? In the Majin Buu saga, Evil Buu, or Super Buu as the dub hat handles it, he has an attack that he charges up on the Lookout, which is a place above Earth. If you don't know Dragon Ball, if you know Dragon Ball, you know exactly what we're talking about. He has an attack called the Human Extinction Attack, where he puts his hand up. He counts how many people are alive by sensing their ki, and then he does an attack that basically kills all of human life. Every single person has at least one blast. He doesn't overkill, obviously, just to be safe, and he ends up killing every single human. I would assume Shin Godzilla would eventually evolve to that point where he'd be able to focus an attack from, whether it's his mouth, I would guess his back more likely, because he has that sensory, what do they call it in the movie? He has it's like a sixth sense. He can just sense when he's about to be attacked, which is how he's able to take out the drones even when he's recharging and sleeping, before the final battle. And I would assume he would find a way to be able to fire that off. Like I said, the ending that kind of is suggested is End of Ava. I guess he would also grow in size again, go up in the sky, and then he would do whatever he needs to do. Or maybe the human Shins wouldn't collect into one being again, and they would just slowly kill off humanity. Well, quickly kill off humanity, Predator alien style. I know exactly what you're talking about. That would be insane. Yeah, that would be my guess. He would do that, and then the human forms on the ground would take over, and not be killed either. Sorry, I gotta get comfortable. Oh, I've been laying in bed all day, trying to nap. So that's kind of what I think would be a good hypothesis. Of course, nothing's guaranteed, and even the things that are in the book and things that have been said or rumored to be said still could be very different from what the outcome would have been or could have been. What I do know is getting a sequel would be that was an interesting message I just got. Wasn't able to read it fully, but that put a smile on my face. I just got a message from a good friend of mine in the community. Haven't been able to talk to him in a little bit. Haven't been able to talk to him a little bit, and he just sent me a message. I just got really happy about that. So I can't wait to talk to him after stream. Very excited. So, but yeah, Shin Godzilla to live in space. Maybe he'd go conquer other planets. I don't really know what he would do. Maybe he would just live on Earth. The human forms would get, they would be like a hive mind on the ground. Just make sure nothing else living exists, and it would just be Shin Godzilla taking over the planet because the Earth literally is everything he needs to live and survive. Everything. He doesn't need humans. He doesn't need other living things. He doesn't eat living things. As long as there's those raw elements in the world, he can survive. Maybe he'd go back to an ocean, as the human forms are still around, if they're still around, if they don't combine back to make the final form. Again, kind of like Destroyer, how he splits apart and then comes back to the final form. Maybe it could be like a Aquarius singular point form, a huge like underwater form that sits in the water and hunts in the water. It just kind of exists while the human forms do what they do, and then once something happens, it can terraform back into a flying or a land form or a flying form. I don't know. Shin is such a crazy design, and the concept art, I really wish I could show you guys, but I will get copyrighted for that if not done right. And I'm not the most excellent editor, so I opted for not putting the concept art in. But there's concept art up to form 10, I believe, or 11. It just gets wild. There's a form, it's like form 5 or 6, that's basically final form Shin mixed with Kamada-kun. It's so different and it's cool. And then there's the wings form. There's a few wings form. There's the concept art in the end where the humanoid ones, I like to see an army of Kamada-kuns. That would be scary, but that would be so cute too. I would die of cuteness overload in a movie. They could be doing the darkest thing. They could be doing the rumbling, basically from Attack on Titan. Here. You are so needy for attention. You are cute though. They could be doing like a rumbling situation, and I'd be oohing and awing and being like, "Ooh, it's so cute." That would be what I would do. But I love Kamada-kun. I would love to see that too. But oh yeah, to get back on track, the human, and Shin Godzilla himself, there's a form in there where he basically, you take the human form of Shin that we have, the grotesque version, and then you angelify it almost from Eva, and it's super clean and has a how to word this, because I want to be careful. I don't want to insult anyone, but there's a lot of religious undertones even still in Shin Godzilla, and it looks like there was supposed to be a lot more closer to Evangelion. Yeah, just like the girl in GMK when she sees Baragon. Closer to Evangelion, where the Shin forms or Shin himself were supposed to end up looking very angelic, very Christian-y. Not true Christian design, kind of like what Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel use, where they're literal, they have their literal angel forms. Excuse me, not agent. I was thinking about the Hell episode, one of the last episodes to come out, the date episode last time from Hell of a Boss. But that's completely unrelated. But the fact is they don't look like their true angel selves. They have the personal look to them, if you guys know what I mean. Um, and they're very almost reflective. They kind of look like slimmer Reggie Ices a little bit. Um, and that was also another route they were going. There's just Shin has so many different endings and so many different concepts for ending. Donovan and the monkey, how's it going? How's it going? How you doing? Um, there's so many different endings and different plot lines that they could take. Where, although I say a second movie would be really hard to do, there's so many concepts to that they could make it work. There is a part of me, a very, very strong part of me, that kind of wishes that Hideaki Anno would be secretly working on a sequel for Shin, and that's the next movie, even though only rumors, nothing confirmed, so don't spread this around, that Toho is already looking at a new director for the next film, and they've already been, they're very interested in one. I can't remember the gentleman's name, a very big director in Japan, though. Not Yamazaki, looking at the next Godzilla film. Now, whether that's -1, the sequel, which is possible, I think that's um, a very smart angle to go, is to get a new director for -1's sequel, if it's going to be that, or maybe it's going to be a sequel to Shin Godzilla 2, or Shin Godzilla and it would be Shin Godzilla 2, or it's going to be another new continuity, we don't really know, or the start of a brand new continuity that's actually going to continue on. We don't really know. Um, Regardless, a new director I think is a good thing, and it could mean a lot of things, but it's the same thing where it was announced or teased that there's going to be a new Ava, whether it's a movie or it's either going to be a new movie or a new show, but it's not going to have Anno attached to it at all. Hideaki Anno is done with Evangelion. But a company was going to continue on and make more Ava product. I just don't know how I feel about that, and it's kind of the same way I feel about a Shin Godzilla sequel. I don't know if I would be super comfortable having a new director do a sequel to Shin Godzilla, because Shin very specifically feels so unique because of Anno, because of Higuchi. Now, maybe what they could do, just hypothetically, just theory crafting, maybe Anno won't come back, but it'll be Higuchi and a second director, or maybe it'll just be Shinji Higuchi himself directing. There, I would be a little bit more comfortable, because Higuchi has worked on all of the Shin movies with Anno. I think he understands his style, and I know Higuchi's got his own very unique ideas. In that situation, I'd be okay with it, but I don't know how I'd feel if neither director was a part of a sequel for Shin. It would definitely be different, but maybe that's what it needs to. You never know. Shin Godzilla -2. I remember before -1 came out, there was the theory that -1 was going to be a prequel to Shin Godzilla, but then it just threw out all the logic. Also, I don't think that makes sense, because -1 has no inkling that it's in the Evangelion universe, which is, I would say, more confirmed than people think, that all the Shin movies are in the Eva universe because of Shin Japan Heroes, because knowing how Evangelion works, where it's a big circle, it's a big loop, every single off product of official Evangelion story is a part of the loop of everything, every game, every weird OVA. Like, there's one where the Evangelion cast goes to school, and Eva Unit 1 is actually there. It's all canon, which means that Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, and Shin Kamen Rider, or Shin Masked Rider are all canon to Eva. So having -1 be a prequel to Shin Godzilla was a crazy rumor, but wouldn't make sense, because -1 has nothing to do with the Evangelion universe. Shin Godzilla is said to be the last angel for Evangelion. That it could be where that I mean, I hear, as I just said, there's a rumor that there's going to be a new Evangelion story of some kind. Maybe that's how you make a sequel. You make Shin Godzilla come out, you do some sort of loop break, and the Avas get sent into the Shin Godzilla verse, or evolved, or not evolved, frozen Shin Godzilla gets sent into the future, into the Evangelion universe. Um, the only problem with that is, unless they're going to do a live action Evangelion, it doesn't quite make sense, which they were going to back in the day, which would have really, really united the Shin movie universe as a multiverse theory, which I think they all are within this circle. Oh my goodness, you are so whiny today. You are so whiny, but you are so cute. You are so cute. Um, to where Shin Godzilla could become the final angel, which when I'm playing with my toys, as we do as collectors, and when I'm playing with my Avos, I almost have Shin Godzilla. Still recovering from your cold? No, I'm good. The dog over here is just sitting, just whining for attention, even though he got cuddles and love all through up to this stream. So my voice is getting a little cracky, but that, been talking for almost an hour already. Holy moly. I just need to liquefy my voice a little bit, which just using root beer is not a good idea, but better than alcohol. Oh, that feels so good. That feels amazing. I also woke up for a nap right before stream as well. So, but when I'm playing with my toys, and it's specifically the Evangelions normally aren't fighting -1 or 2019 or any of the Heisei Godzillas. It's almost always ends up being Shin, because in my mind that makes the most sense. But Evangelion's story is technically over, so but because the last angel is technically themselves, in the truest form. So, but I do like the theory craft of like a custom story to where Eva truly ends with Shin Godzilla, and that's kind of the final atonement for that. Because it makes sense. Shin Godzilla's movie points, what Yakuji goes through, where it's like we still need to believe in ourselves and others, to come together, to unite for the goodness of the world and people, to survive, for Japan to defeat Godzilla, even though it seems like an impossible task, rather than just nuking the place and just giving up. And that goes in with Evangelion, where a lot of Evangelion is believing in yourself and trusting others. Both plot lines really work with each other, just, throwing it out there. If I could, stop motion again and theory craft to make a story, that's definitely what I would want to do, would be an Evangelion Shin Godzilla story, which would be a huge pain in my butt. But I would love to do that someday, or at least have like a written down form of it, because I have thought about that. I have ideas, I have drafts. It was something I was going to start working on last year, where I was going to start getting ready for a production of sorts, and it's still something that I probably never going to come out. But if I could write it down, get the story, maybe one day I could read it for y'all if I was great at writing, which I'm not. So Shin Godzilla was a 15 million budget film. That 15 million more than -1 budget, which is, it was less than, it's actually, I think number got confirmed, it's like only 8 million. But yeah, Shin Godzilla was almost double. And Yamazaki is a very big director. I would say a lot of Shin Godzilla's budget went into Anno and Higuchi. Just gonna be real. I'm just gonna be honest. I think most of that budget went into them. Our good chunk of that budget was making sure that they were set up and ready, and paid well. Shin Godzilla was worked on for quite a lot longer than I think. A lot of, just if you're not like a huge Shin Godzilla super fan, or maybe you're newer, you're still getting used to like researching these films. Shin Godzilla was in the works, in the talks for years before. People like to say 2014 is what pushed Shin, which is untrue. Shin was being worked on very late 2020 or 2012, 2013. Shin Godzilla was already kind of in talks. Of course, it wasn't Shin at that point. In fact, at that point, Anno wasn't even fully on board yet. Um, but Anno had his own ideas for a Godzilla movie. He'd been working up things for years because it's something he wanted to do. Um, and, I know in 2013 he turned down Toho, I believe it's twice. It took 3 requests to fully get in. Um, but Shin Godzilla was already in the mindset, already in planning stage before 2014's complete global takeover of the market, showing that Godzilla can top the world, the global box office, which we're now seeing as -1. Shin Godzilla didn't really do it globally. It topped Japan, but it didn't top global. And now -1. The legendary films, how well they're doing, even if they're not as well received, how we're still able to keep getting greenlights on more because they do enough, which is good. It's 2014 and Shin Godzilla have this very unique partnership almost. This Japan's big boom for Godzilla wouldn't have happened without Shin, where the rest of the global market's big boom for Godzilla wouldn't have happened without 2014. I think they both played a role into kickstarting both. But if in a world where we didn't get 2014 or the legendary films, we would not be where we're at now, even with Shin, because Shin was not as popular globally as it was in Japan, which is kind of interesting to say because it's the opposite for -1, where -1 is big globally, but in Japan, I've been told by people who live in Japan or has visited Japan that -1 isn't the bee's knees over there, not like it is here. And Shin Godzilla, funny enough, is still top dog. At this point, I think it's undeniable to say that Shin Godzilla is more popular than Heisei and is going to continue to just be Toho's Godzilla. You see it in the products. We're not even at the 10th anniversary, and look at how much Shin we've gotten this year. Some of it is because the licensing has opened up. It's less expensive. It's more accessible now. A lot of the Godzilla licensings have actually opened up, so Safubi companies specifically can really focus on making these characters. Marusan, I'll tell you about these. We'll take a break from the movie dumping and theory crafting. These, I can't say how long. These molds from Marusan, from Iji san, Iji-san, have been years old. Godzilla 2000, years old. These have been made for a very long time. They couldn't be released though due to licensing in Toho. So that's kind of why we're getting so many new molds from Marusan specifically, and other companies as well at Wonderfest, like Frog Tree debuted a new Shin. There was a lot of kits, a lot of garage kits for Shin this year that weren't the main, like I believe, Black Dragon, I believe. KOC also has one, though I don't think either of them did a reissue of their Shin this year, which is really disappointing because I do want to get that kit at some point down the line. Shin is remaining top dog in the line. Wow, Shin really is top. Yeah, it is. Put this into perspective. Yes, there's a -1 statue that travels. There's not a Habuya Square or Toho Studios -1 statue yet. It is still Shin Godzilla. And Shin Godzilla is still actively getting toys. We just got Ortho Shin, which kind of revitalized Shin Godzilla in the Japanese community, or in Japan, I should say, excuse me, and has pushed Shin Godzilla products. We're getting Ortho Shin colorways. You think Marusan's not going to do an Ortho Shin? He's doing Ortho colors. He did an Ortho for Varan, Godzilla 2000, and I believe Mechagodzilla, I believe. And you bet your ass that Shin, this 4th form, the 2nd form, and the 3rd form, once it's eventually revealed, will also be getting it. It's just all there. All the pieces are in place to Shin take over. Monster Arts, we're getting Ortho Shin. We are 100% going to be getting an ortho second and third form at some point. X Plus 30 centimeter got reissued for a light up this time, and the ortho Shin Godzilla has two versions. We have the light up and the standard version out there. Um, this past weekend, we just had the reveal that the Defo series figures, Form 2, 3, and 4, is getting an ortho release. I'm almost ready to pull the trigger on it. I think I am going to pre-order it so I have the original size Defos, at least in some capacity. So I think I'm going to be getting that ortho set. Bandai, the ortho triple set, which I do not have on pre-order, but I found out Ami Ami did have an exclusive run of them. And I didn't know they had a pre-order window and they're already sold out for $60. I said I wouldn't order it for 80 or 100. I will order that set for 60. Shipping is going to be monstrous, but that's okay. So I will. I'm, as of right now, planning on getting the Ortho Bandai set and the premium, or not the premium Bandai, but the Godzilla Store exclusive Ortho Awakening. And then there's a leak that we're finally, quote unquote, getting a Climax Shin in the regular Movie Monster series line. The Climax has always been an exclusive. The original Climax version, which I own, I believe it was a G Store exclusive that came in a box. Now we're finally getting it as a standard release. Depending on what it looks like, I might get it just for shits and giggles. We'll see. I definitely plan on going Crazy Shin in Japan in February. Sounds like a lot of money disappearing for me. Yeah, it is. It is. Please don't remind me. Wonderfest and San Diego Comic-Con just took a ton from me. Set me back a good amount of paces, enough to where I thought I'd be caught up by August, by the end of August, and I am not. I'm going to be still playing catch up a little bit into September. But you never know. We'll see. Maybe I'll win the lottery between now and then I don't have to worry about any of this. Then I'll just be going to Japan and, very shortly afterwards. So, no, I'm just kidding. It's not good to rely on pipe dreams like that. One in a couple 100 million chances. But in a funny scenario, if I won the lottery, you guys would know without me saying it, because I'd be getting all of the Shins. I would be just buying Shin Godzilla after Shin Godzilla after Shin Godzilla, because I'm an animal. I love Shin. And everything else too. I'd be a monster. So, but yeah, money disappearing because of Shin Godzilla. I mean, even these, I kind of said it earlier. Glitters. I'm going to be buying a few glitters depending on colorways. If the glitterways are as tropical and as unique and different as what the Godzilla 2000 has been getting, I plan on getting, if he does similar colorways or different colorways, anywhere to 5 to 10 of these, just like the Sara Jirushi. I can say, having this in hand, this definitely isn't topping the Sara Jirushi mold, but this definitely is going to be like a number 2 or 3. I'm going to have to really sit down with this because I love the Passion Tank. Passion Tank is a really close second. This is going to be third, but once we start getting colorways, this could be my second favorite Safubi Shin Godzilla mold. This thing is gorgeous. I love it. It's a blessing and a curse when your favorite Godzilla is getting that much merch. Yeah. It's a curse. And it's not only that there's so much new merch, there's so much that I haven't gotten that was released in the past that's so expensive now, that I'm trying to catch up on. Like, there's still parts of me that would love to start the Bandai exclusive runs of the Shins. Get every exclusive Shin Godzilla. The translucent red, the purple, and so on and so forth. But there's like 20 of them. There's so many of them. Gigantic scales. I still want the Awakening X Plus, the Awakening Gigantic Shin Godzilla. We're still waiting on the Easy Hobby Kamakura Landing version. Once that eventually gets here, whenever that gets here. Is Shin getting more figures than... Yeah. Oh, landslide. Shin right now is the Godzilla IP that's getting the most. It's not even close. The Heisei Godzillas aren't close anymore. Um, and nothing. Legendary is getting a lot, but not as much as Shin. It's not even close. Shin is literally just never ending, um, for good and bad. Um, it's wild, and there's I'm telling y'all, there's just going to be more. We keep getting closer to the 10th anniversary. 2026, unless I win the jackpot in the lottery, or that by that point I can get another promotion at work. By that point, if I'm still at this job, or maybe I find a job that pays me even more, and I'll leave Amazon for that if it's that much more. I'm going to be broke 2026, because there's probably going to be so much 10th anniversary Shin Godzilla merch that it's going to be uncontrollable. It's going to be wild, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it. I don't know what I'm going to do. Hopefully, by that point, um, I'll have a house. I'm gonna need I'm gonna need a collection room. I'm gonna need a Shin Godzilla room by that point. Just kind of thinking about how they do anniversaries, thinking about how big Shin Godzilla is. Um, I can see I can see Shin getting more love than, I mean, look at Mechagodzilla 74 this year. Has gotten quite a bit of merch. I think there's still more coming. But I think Shin has still gotten more. The only thing that's starting to catch up is -1, but that's a new movie. That makes sense that it's going to start overlapping. Shin Godzilla, though, um, tried and true. Just the Safubi side of it, I think, is what keeps it up. Almost every single company that does Safubi has a Safubi line, is making Shin or is about to make Shin. CCP has a Shin Godzilla mold that they are prepping. I don't think it was at Wonderfest. I think we're still a little bit out. Gonna need a second house for all the Shin. Yeah, I am. I am, dude. I really am. I joke about having, a house, especially in this market, but you never know. Um, I joke about having a room that will just be Shin Godzilla or Shin overall. I might throw my Avas in there as well. I don't think it's that much of a joke, especially once you start considering I want most of the gigantic scale figures. Like, it's going to be hard now unless they do a reissue. I would like the original. I believe it's the Climax or Roaring Easy Hobby Shin. I missed out on a ton of those pre-orders, and after seeing it at G-Fest last year, I would really like at least a version of that figure. And there is a version of it, a colorway of it, that's mostly pink and purple that I would really like. But it's one of the more very limited ones. It was an event exclusive. Just wait till the 1 billion life-size Shin model. Yeah, I'd do it. If I win the lottery, if I win the lottery somehow, some way, even though I'm not even playing in the lottery, I'm not buying tickets. If I were to win the lottery, um, I I would go to someone in Japan. I would go to Japan. I would talk to a sculptor, and I would attempt to, pay too much money for it wouldn't be 1-for-1 scale, but a one and what would that be, 1/50th scale, I think, 1/48th. I can't remember um what the 4 foot, the 4.5 foot tall Godzilla statue that was released a few years ago from Bandai, the $10,000, $15,000 statue. I can't remember what scale that is. I would probably want a Shin that's taller than me, like a 6 foot or 6.5 foot Shin. Um, but yeah, I'd do that if I had a lottery win that was like multi millions. That would be something I would start reaching out for, to getting a realistic human scale Shin Godzilla, not 1-for-1 scale, but a human scale. So I'd probably get like a 6.5 foot tall Shin Godzilla. I don't know where I'd put it, because remember, everyone, time to make me a pet Kamado. Oh no, that would be so cute. I pretty much got that with the bulldog. He's like Kamado-kun. He doesn't have gills and he doesn't bleed out of them, but he slobbers. It's basically the same thing. He also sometimes has dead-looking eyes. He looks at you and looks straight through your soul and finds your deepest, darkest secret, and then holds on to that. He's kind of like Kamada-kun a little bit. Not as brainless, but or yeah, not as brainless as Kamada-kun, but I don't know where to put it because remember, Shin Godzilla's tail is longer than he is tall. So to get a 6 or 7 foot custom Shin Godzilla statue, the tail would have to be 7 or 8, 8 or 9 feet long. Most rooms could not fit. I don't think this room, if I set it at that end, I think it would take up most of the wall. So I'd have to have a theater room for something like that. But that would be really cool. And then I'd have to get it shipped to me, which would only be by boat, which would take 3 or 4 months, because it'd have to come in pieces. Then I'd have to build it. That would be a crazy stream, though, wouldn't it? Winning the lottery and then being like, "Hey, I have so, I have so much expendable money, and I have found the most dumbest ways of spending it. I paid someone in Japan to sculpt me a human-sized Shin Godzilla statue, and it's here, and we're gonna do a live unboxing / building stream." Something just wild like that. That would be so cool. Because I don't think there's any videos of collectors having that $10,000 Godzilla statue. I don't think I've seen any videos on YouTube. Maybe I need to look again. Videos of it. So it's like to have something like that, custom made like that in a very hypothetical, unrealistic situation, would be really cool. It'd be really cool to watch, even for me, even if that isn't me, if one of my friends wins the lottery and for some reason they get it wouldn't be Shin probably, but a life-size or a human scale Godzilla, like I would love watching that. It'd be hours and hours and hours because they would come in big containers. You'd have to pay someone extra. It would be a whole pain in the ass. It'd be a major pain in the ass to do that. But it would be cool. It would be honestly cool, and it's something I would love to do. But winning the lottery is unrealistic, and a pipe dream. But you never know. You can always hold out hope, but it doesn't mean to buy into it too much. A ticket or two every few months, I think, is more than enough, or once a month. Sometimes I do 2 a month, when there's a large enough pool. Life-size Shin head for a treehouse. That would be, since I haven't been to Awaji Island yet, I don't know quite how large Shin Godzilla is, the life-size Shin Godzilla zipline, but that would be more than a treehouse. That would be almost a house. That would be a house, but also be cool. But at that point, I'm pretty sure I'd have to pay Toho licensing to have a house made in the likeness, or a more exact likeness of Shin Godzilla. But you never know. Get one of those, $1.3 billion lottery wins. Do the smart decision, do the 10-year payout. End up getting more 60 to 70,000 over a few years. Yen is still low. It's rising. Yen is rising, but could still, move to Japan on a year's lottery salary at that high. Could still do it, and then very, very, very much do a lot of things. That would be my goal. Would be to move to Japan if I won the lottery. Admittingly, I would very much move to the lottery, move to Japan. For a little bit, if the family wants to. I don't think Tater would care, but gotta ask the partner, of course. Just pay for the permanent rights to Shin Godzilla. Like I said, Shin Godzilla's Toho's main money grab. I don't think they would ever permanently. Well, I don't think they would permanently sell Godzilla ever. Period. But if there was one character that they would not sell the rights for, I believe it would be Shin Godzilla. But I would pay them handsomely for Shin. I would be like, hey, you guys, help create the environment to craft this movie, which has become my favorite. Here's a very nice, big chunk of money. Like if I could, even you know, we were talking about it yesterday on stream, you know, what a hypothetical like end goal for me would be, and it goes hand in hand with moving to Japan, would be to start a Safubi company, a new company for Safubi. And the first one I would like to do is Shin Godzilla. And you know, in my brain, it's like it's very, you know, the licensing got easier, but it still got expensive, or you know, it's still expensive. I think I'd pay them a little bit extra if I could, you know, just to, you know, let them do the most I could with it. You know, I don't know what I would do, who I would ask to make it. I am Shin Godzilla. I am Shin Godzilla. Well, I guess now it's I am Doom, right? Marvel doing desperate ploys to keep Marvel in the limelight, which is okay. Which is okay. Um, I don't mind. I like that Robert Downey Jr.'s come back, but that's not Shin Godzilla related. Um, I don't know. It's just I'm having fun. I kind of feel like we're not really talking about anything specific, but this is exactly what I hope for this Shin Godzilla stream, to where we can just talk about these weird, kind of almost off-topic things. You know, talk about kind of what we want, you know, figure wise, you know, talk about the concept art, theory craft, you know, for sequels, and talk about hypotheticals of winning the lottery and what I would do with it that relates to Shin Godzilla. I think this ended up being even better than what I had in mind for this stream. So thank you everyone, especially Sharktopus, Vaughn Jr. Thank you guys for talking and theory crafting for this stream. This is, I might not be showing it, but the stress levels for the stream have gone down a lot, because there was a point today where it's like, I really don't know what to talk about. If I'm not going to directly talk about the movie, I'm also not going to try to backtrack too much on what I talked about last year and the year previously. Like, I was kind of stressing like what I wanted to talk about the more I went and looked at what I'd done in the past. And I think this was the best scenario. Now, it's going to be hard to follow this up next year. Um, it's going to be, ninth anniversary is going to be hard. 10th won't be, because it's going to be a legacy, you know, the legacy of Shin. And we're going to see that through 10th anniversary merch. Personally, I hope Shin Godzilla, kind of to go back to that anniversary conversation really quick, I hope Shin Godzilla gets its own unique logo for 10th anniversary. I know they don't really do that for 10th, but I think Shin will. You know, kind of how we have the 50th and the 60th logo for Mechagodzilla and Ghidorah, and even the new 70th logo. I do think we'll get a 10th for Shin, which kind of hoping it's just the movie silhouette and then a big 10 kind of in the body. I think that would be enough. Or like a crazy awakening pose, and then just the 10 splattered on there. I think that would be perfect, honestly. Sorry, I had to really refresh. That 20-minute conversation and the excitement really burnt out my voice there for a second. So, if any kaiju will get it, it's a Shin. Yeah, it's Shin. I really do. Because in 2026, what are we looking at for anniversary? Technically, King of the Monsters, the U.S. version of 54. That's anniversary, 70th anniversary. Ebera's 60th anniversary. No Showa anniversary, or no 70s, no 80s, no 90s, no millennium. Wow. So it's the only big anniversary date for 2026 is Ebera. And no offense to that movie, as I've gotten older, I appreciate that film way more than the first time I saw it. Way more. I love Ebera now. Or I wouldn't say I love, but I really like Ebera. Shin is going to have to hold up 2026 unless we're going to get a new movie by then, which it's a little too soon for a new movie, I think, unless it's going to be a sequel to Shin or -1. Personally, in my opinion, I think it's a little too soon. I'm down for waiting, you know, another 5 or 6 years. personally. Every Godzilla movie from now on has had an MCU style opening, but it's only showing Shin Godzilla. Yeah, Shin Shin I think is what's going to hold up the 2026 celebration. As much respect to Ebra as I can. 10th anniversary for Shin sounds like that's what 2026 is going to end up being a majority of, and I'm very, very excited to see what's going on with it. You know, I'm very excited to start seeing, especially because we've gotten so much Shin this year because of Ortho. What new items are we going to get? You know, personally, you know, some things I would like to see. A new 25 centimeter from X Plus. I think that's pretty obvious. Or a reissue of the original one, get a light up version. Um, Hopefully before then we'll have a true 4K copy of the movie. If you guys didn't know, and I'm not the biggest movie guru, but it's just the conversations I've had with my good friend Tokusatsu BTS. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe to him. Um, that the 4K, the Japanese 4K release of Shin Godzilla that came out a few years ago, you know, the Amazon exclusive, that is an upscale 4K. It's not a true 4K. So hopefully between now and then we get a true 4K announcement of Shin Godzilla and Ortho. Ortho, I really want to see in true 4K. Minus color also doesn't have the 4K, so I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe there's an issue with how they would do it, but I don't really see why either. But Ortho needs a 4K run. Ortho needs to be included with the 4K Shin Godzilla, especially if it's going to be like a 10th anniversary release thing. Hopefully we get a true 4K, because I'm holding off on buying the 4K upscale, even though I'm probably going to end up buying it soon. If I can get the Amazon exclusive, which has a steel book that just looks just goddamn evil. I love it. I love it. You know, that would be the goal. But I don't want to do that because I know the second that I buy it, I shell out the expensive money that the Amazon exclusive is. The 10th. But for 26, all the Kaiju fans are going to be in the streets dressed as Ebra. Hey, I wouldn't mind it. Ebra is a movie that needs love. If you're not like a Showa super fan, I feel like a lot of people don't enjoy Ebra, which is really, really sad because it has a all-star cast, and I honestly think that's the best part of Ebra. It's not Ebra and Godzilla, it's the human cast and the human, story, I think is what really makes that film. But you never know. You never know. Hopefully it's a good amount of Ebra and Shin, but I feel like Shin is going to be priority because, I mean, look at him. It's just look at the few that I have on the desk, you know. I was going to bring them all, but I realized I actually didn't have enough space for all of them. And then I would have to uproot my shelf. And I don't feel like adjusting my shelves, even though I do have to adjust because now the Marusan's here and we have the Sartarushi on the way. Might have a few other things on the way once I financially recover from this, which I never will because this community is literally a wallet drainer. 99% of the time, there's barely any months where it doesn't actually kill my wallet. So, but I love it though. I do love it as much stress as it can cause. Going into the next few months, thankfully, as I've said before, I'm going to start slowing down. I'm not going to be looking at pre-ordering too many January release products. You know, like Monster Arts, I have none of the Monster Arts. I don't have Scar, Shimo, or the Mothra and Suko set pre-ordered yet because they release in January and February. I'll be in Japan in February. I don't see a point on pre-ordering those. Yes, that means that we won't get the reviews out right away for y'all. But I would rather wait and, you know, buy them in Japan if I can, at least. The Art Spirit Shin Godzilla reissues, I think they come out at the end of the year. The fourth form has a huge box, so I don't know how I'm going to go with that. Even the Kamada-kun has a pretty big box as well, actually. So I think those drop in November. So I don't know how I'm going to do those. Probably wouldn't buy those in Japan. But I do plan on, hopefully there will be a Marusan event with Shin Godzilla's. I do have Ortho on pre-order, Monster Arts Ortho. Winter Wonderfest 2025. Obviously, I'm going to be trying to save as much budget as I can for that so I can buy as many Shins as possible. And not Shins, but mainly Shins, especially Sarajarushi Shins. The Frog Tree, depending on what the colors for the Sun Guts and the Passion Tanks are. Marmot might come back and do some new Shin colorways, now that they're kind of doing that here in the US. Hopefully they do it in Japan and they're a little bit cheaper because the $300 price tags on the regular size Marmots and the multi-$1,000 ones on the giant Desus is just not for me personally. Not for me personally, especially when I'm already hunting down the Onsen figures. Um, when we go to Japan, I want to buy the first release of Monster Art Shin Godzilla, rebuy that into my collection. Hopefully, get one brand new, so we can hopefully have a little bit of time with it before it gets loose. And I would like to get the G Store exclusives as well, pretty much the maquette colors. I want to get those as well for the second, third form, and fourth form. So I want to have all the Monster Art Shins. Um, um, I want to have all the Sarajarushi Shins, and I'm going to go for a lot of the Marusan Shins. And then, like I said, I might start buying the Bandais. I'm told in Japan it's still pretty easy to get most of the exclusives. There's a few of them, like the purple one's a little hard, the red one's starting to get hard, the original theater exclusive. Stuff like that. The Owaji Island Bandai and the Habuya Square. I don't own either one. Debating pre-ordering the Habuya Square off of the G Store because it's cheap, but I think it's still going to be around by the time I go to Japan, so I would just rather buy the Owaji Island figure and the Habuya Square figure Bandais in Japan because I don't have a representation of either one of those Godzillas yet. Me and my friends were talking one night late, drunk, on Discord. X Plus should do a 30 centimeter Owaji Island Shin Godzilla release, and I stand by that. I think that would be really cool. It could be large or even a gigantic scale if they wanted to. They could make it like 43 centimeters tall and just do a bunch of crazy stuff with it. I think that would be I think that would be really cool. And I think that is something because we're getting close to the 10th anniversary of Owaji as well, or the 5th anniversary, excuse me. I believe next year is its 5th anniversary, or 2026 might also end up being 5th anniversary. So you never know. There's so much with Shin. Even not having a sequel, the possibilities are endless. With Monster Arts, to talk about Monster Arts a little bit, we need an ortho color second form, third form, and now an awakening Shin Godzilla because this ortho is only standard Shin. Technically, they could do an ortho frozen, although I don't think they will. As much as they love releasing Shins and getting money, I don't think they'll do that. I do think awakening will happen. That's probably what the second and third form was going to be. I thought the second and third form would be its own ortho set because I thought the Shin Godzilla, they would just make it an awakening set with pretty much with the climax, the open jaw and the extra head and the extra tail and maybe even some beams. I thought they would just throw it all into one Shin Godzilla release, but the fact that it isn't kind of tells me that they're planning on doing more. So maybe they're going to do a set with the second, third, and awakening with all the awakening effect pieces as an ortho set, and then Monsters will be done. We still need a special color version awakening down the line. I'd be down for it. I'd buy it. Do a painted one, or they could do a fully translucent one like the Fourth Night Combat version, seeing as the awakening. So current awakening is only translucent in the dorsal plates on the back, and not the full body like Night Combat is. So if they want to do an awakening just like that, all for it. Just give me some more vibrant beam effects. Maybe by that point they'll have found a way to do the back beams, and we can get the back beams with that one. And then if you have the original one, you've got the front and the tail beam, and kind of have to buy them all to make it complete Shin Godzilla. But personally for me, I don't mind that. I know a lot of people don't, especially because it's probably going to be a P Bandai exclusive. But it's whatever. There's so many things with Shin product wise. Like I keep saying with this Marusan Shin, glitters, glow in the darks, just regular color variants. This figure is going to be hot. I think what Godzilla 2000 was for the beginning half of the year, this figure is going to get that love and more. Just popped into my head. Oh, what did? Um, oh, you sent it beforehand. Sweet. In a happy world when we get Shin Godzilla 2, I hope he goes against Orga. I think that interaction would be awesome. Yeah, that would be cool. Um, because, a lot of things with Godzilla, when it comes to the movies, how Toho looks when it comes to money, they throw King Ghidorah, Mothra, Rodan, Mechagodzilla, because those are the big money characters. But when you look at something like Shin, if you're going to put another kaiju against Shin, Shin itself is the moneymaker, so you could throw any kaiju in a Shin Godzilla movie, in a hypothetical versus Shin Godzilla movie, um, and it'd probably be fine. And Orga, I agree. Orga having the almost instant generate or heal, or you know, if there was a movie that wasn't -1 to do the two Godzilla formula, like a Godzilla versus Godzilla, this would be it. I think Shin Godzilla would be a perfect hypothetical Godzilla versus Godzilla movie where it'd be Shin Godzilla versus Shin Godzilla. Um, have one doing the hierarchy, the angel god tier, and then have a chunk off of it that maybe just evolves differently, and then they just fight and they kill each other in a sad, tragic way, or maybe the good Zilla still loses. Maybe the nature, you know, our main Shin Godzilla doesn't, or he wins. We get the bad ending. You never know. So much, but Orga. If it wasn't a Godzilla v Godzilla situation, I think Orga is a great choice. Um, Ghidorah, obviously, because we do have a Shin Ghidorah. It's kind of sad that that design is not getting more love. I'm still waiting for X Plus to do a Shin Ghidorah. I don't know if it's just a licensing issue, because it's kind of, I think Shin Ghidorah falls into a different bucket when it comes to licensing. It's not the same as just getting the licensing for Shin, and it's kind of like the Shin Japan Heroes, where I think it kind of has to all be together, which is kind of sad. But you never know, too. Well, I think that actually kind of got proven because in the Pon Chico game, I think that's how it's pronounced, the Ponko game. I can't remember the gambling game in Japan where we got the Godzilla X Evangelion collab trailer to restart, the Evangelion X Shin Godzilla collab stuff. It's Heisei Ghidorah that's in there and not Shin Ghidorah. So something tells me someone has an extra hand, probably Universal. I miss my Bandai Shin Ghidorah. I do. That's a figure I'd actually like to buy back because there's almost none. I don't even think there's a lot of one-day license kits available for Shin Ghidorah. So, that would be something I would like to buy back eventually. Mine never had the tag, the tag. So I'll probably try to find one in Japan with tag. I can imagine two normal Shins fighting and they're just smashing their heads against each other for days. Yeah, it'd be brutal. -1 and Godzilla kind of had a little bit more adult theme. There was blood, there's some gore. You can have a lot of fun with Shin Godzilla. As much as I don't want to see my boy get or my creature, get mangled. Shin Godzilla is kind of perfect for it. Especially if it's fighting itself. Its atomic breath is literally, it seems to cut through most things. Ooh, excuse me. It seems to cut through most things. So, what would it do to another kaiju? What would it do to itself if it got actually aimed at itself? I don't know. And that would be something really cool. You could have a scene where, the reveal that there's two, and then, the one just says, I don't even want to deal with you. And, atomic breaths, the other one's head clean off, and then it just regenerates. I think that'd be really cool. Although Shin Godzilla hasn't shown to have that type of regeneration. like the dorsal plates that get blown off. We don't actually ever see those come back. They're just kind of magically there in the next scene after he's done recharging. Once he gets reawakened by the train bombs, that dorsal plate's just kind of back. So it's assumed that he does have some sort of healing benefactor, but nothing like -1, where -1's basically instant heal. It's just wild. Just wild. So Shin Godzilla would probably evolve into that, I would guess, or adapt into that. But yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the monster arts because the other day I should have brought at least Awakening over here to have on the table. I was playing with Awakening, and I've got in a really cool, not typical Shin Godzilla pose. Well, I say that, but it kind of mimics the big guy in the back. And I just kind of love the way that the head sculpt looks in this pose. I think I finally found a neutral pose that makes the head sculpt look almost accurate. It's a really good regeneration. It's just really, really slow. Yeah. Which is something he'd have to adapt if he fights another kaiju. He'd have to learn to heal faster. Between healing faster and also getting arms, as we said, kind of almost an hour ago, he needs arms. Fighting another kaiju just isn't going to work with his little doopy arms. As cute as they are, he's gonna need more. Ooh, he's gonna need more. I guess I'm kind of feeling good about where we're at stream wise. I'm gonna start cycling it towards the end. I'm not gonna end it right now, but I think I'm gonna start cycling it closer and closer. We're in the final 30 minutes basically. I think I'm okay with the stream ending at around 2 hours. So we're gonna start kind of cycling towards the end here. So like I said, we have our Godzilla Marathon series that's getting restarted this week. Eventually we're going to get to Shin. So, I would love Shin could just learn kickboxing. They could do, that would be very show a throwback where he does like a Gorosaurus kick instead, kind of closer to Shin Ultraman's goofiness and some of the crazy choreography of Shin Kamen Rider. I would not be against it. I would not be against it. I want to kind of start cycling it back. So I'm not going to talk about my favorite scenes, although I have done that in the past. I guess, we've kind of been talking about like the future for Shin and kind of the implication of what Toho's doing with Shin. And, kind of looking towards the future. I really do enjoy Shin Godzilla. I love Shin Godzilla, to be fair. I love the movie. Oh, Mama just got home. Are you going to go see Mama? You going to go see Mama? Yes. Go. Go see Mama. Go see Mama. I'm going to close the door real quick. Gotta let her and Tater have their privacy. So, perfect time to kind of start kind of running down the stream here as my partner gets home. So, but this I know for a lot of U.S. fans, a lot of global fans, this movie's kind of not that that loved. In Japan, where I think the movie's like, average rating is probably 95 plus. If you're talking like out of 100, U.S. I would say it's anywhere from 60 to 70, maybe. It's definitely more than 50%, especially Safubi wise, but I mean, I kind of look at us Shin Godzilla collectors. A lot of us Shin collectors seem to be completists one way or the other. So, as much as I kind of want to use that as an example of how popular it is to lean more over 50%, I kind of have to remind myself that we're kind of psychos and we end up buying a lot of the same releases. Or, the same sculpts, just all the colorways, like me, and gets overhated over here. Yeah, Shin gets way overhated. I agree. Oop, I'm about to sneeze. I was gonna sneeze, I guess. Where I'm like 9 of 9 on the Sarjarushis. I wouldn't mind owning 3 to 5 different colorways of each of the two Shin Godzilla molds. I'm gonna start getting more Sun Guts again. I sold 2 of them off. Probably gonna buy a few newer colorways, especially once I go to Wonderfest. I think at that point, like just getting them for as inexpensive as they are there, especially with currency conversion, I'm gonna have to. But if Marmot starts doing more, I wouldn't mind a few more of those. Stuff like that. Yeah, Shin. Let's get back to your comment, Sharktopus. Yeah, Shin is I feel like overhated because it's really weird for me. I have a lot of friends that have asked about what movie to get started to in the Godzilla. If they're gonna watch Godzilla movies, the Japanese Godzilla movies, where should they start? And I don't normally recommend Shin first, first and foremost. I really, especially now with -1, it's like you should watch -1 or you should watch 54. Is my go-tos. I think to understand Godzilla, to kind of decide if you want to start watching these films for a new viewer, starting at 54, really you can't go wrong. Yeah, it's still live streaming, honey. Ooh, it's cute. What is that? Is that the hand? It's that thing. Oh my goodness. What is it for? Is it just decoration? Oh, it's a squeaky toy. Okay.
But it's not for Tater. It's Mom's though.
Okay. You're so cute. Buying a dog toy for yourself.
Shut the fuck up.
It's adorable. Okay.
This isn't for you.
I'm almost done. Don't get too excited. He's gonna get rowdy. He's angry. Get her. Go get mama. But yeah. And speaking of my partner and Tater, as I talked about earlier, I started them off on Shin. And Shin Godzilla's one of my partner's favorite movies, or her favorite. It's one or the other. It kind of got bumped around a little bit with -1 and watching some of the Showa films. Like she really loves Hedorah as well, in -1. So, but Shin is one of her favorites. It's up there right at the top, and Samuel, how's it going? Hello, hello, hola, hola. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. We're talking about Shin. Got a crazy unboxing. We got a Marusan. We're doing good. But now, Shin is up there. Normally not number 1 for movie recommendation, but it's normally like number 2 or 3. And I do put a warning in front of it. I actually did this with 2 coworkers. My fellow assistant process manager, my coworker, he's with the same position at my job. We're both assistant managers. And then my boss's boss, because my boss has actually watched Godzilla before. He really likes it because he's a big Evangelion guy. So he said he had to watch Shin Godzilla. But my boss's boss has watched a few Godzilla movies, and he was just asking about it because he watched -1 and really, really liked it. And I was like, well, Shin Godzilla is a different pace, but it's a really good film. And then, I have to go on the spiel. It's like, so it's going to seem, it's really talky, especially if you watch the subtitled version. The subtitled version is very hard to watch. I would just, recommend watching the English dub. Just know it's a political parody movie for the most part. So and then I explain the back story with 311 and why the movie's the way it is. And it seems to land better with people when they understand why the film is the way it is, or their thoughts change on the second or third watching after learning about its backstory, or if they do their own research. Shin is kind of on its own thing versus Shin is very unique. I said it earlier, just in the directing style of Anno and Higuchi, but also just overall, the movie just doesn't feel the same. Where -1 has some very strong Showa vibes, Shin just feels completely different, and I think it's the best thing about it. in my opinion. I watched all the Godzilla movies. I haven't had a sit down. We're kind of doing that with these live streams, but I do at one of these weekends when I'm off of work. I'm gonna start 54 and I'm gonna watch all the way up to -1, or I guess New Empire technically. Um, well, I'll watch through -1, and then if I want to include the five um, or six, because Skull Island will be thrown in there. The six U.S. produced films. Shin is going to feel so different still. And that's even just comparing Shin to -1 for me. And it's why Shin ends up winning the battle if I have to make a decision, say which one I like more. Shin wins because Shin just feels so different. Um, Shin Godzilla, the movie wouldn't be as good without Godzilla. If you take Godzilla out of the picture, it's still a pretty good film. The acting's most part really well done. Ono and his cinematography and his angles for directing is wonderful. But I really, really love Shin Godzilla, and Shin Godzilla is what makes the movie. Or -1, you could pull -1 out of it. I think that film is just about as damn good as it is with Godzilla. Where Shin, I feel like it takes a little bit of a step back. It takes one step back, not two or three, but it takes one step. And that kind of just goes to show the energy, the aura of Shin overall, where Shin is just kind of. I almost want to say it's the perfect Japanese Godzilla. I almost want to say it's well, not even just Japanese Godzilla. It's the perfect Godzilla. It's It's just a monster in every sense of the way, and there's just something so unique about it. There's something so unique to me about Shin that every time I get a new Shin, I feel it helps me feel a new way about it. Like this Marusan, once we get done with this live stream, I'm going to be eating this up at the desk. I'm going to be looking at it. I'm going to really be breaking it down, like how I feel about this, taking photos, getting ready to get this review filmed and edited for you guys. It's going to be another late one, like another 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Central Time, but we will get it out. It will be tonight. At least Central Standard Time, it'll be today. I don't know about the other, Eastern time zone, especially if it's like 11 o'clock, then it'll be midnight for you guys. But if you're in Standard or Pacific or Mountain Time, it will be out today. I'm just very, very excited to see more. I really shouldn't be, but I am. I'm excited to see what Easy Hobby does. Once I get, well, oh shit, I am late. That's all right, Alex. That's okay. I'm about to end, so whenever you have time, you can go back and watch. I know live streams aren't quite as much fun rewatching when they're not live because a lot of the interactivity's gone. But if you feel like going back and watching, you can. But what are your thoughts on the Marusan Shin? This thing is amazing. It is amazeballs. I love it. I love the colors. I like how hefty it is. It's got some weight on it, even though it's not too much taller. I haven't brought it down yet, but just going off of like how it feels in my hand, it's not taller than Varan or Gigan, but it's got weight. This is a hefty Marusan. This is big, thick vinyl. The colors are great. The sculpt is wonderful from what I'm seeing. I cannot wait to take photos on it. I'm probably going to be working on both Marusan reviews tonight. You'll get this one tonight, and then you'll get this one. You might get it tomorrow. You might get it Wednesday. Probably Wednesday. I'm thinking I'm only going to do 3. We could do 4 reviews. There's actually something that I haven't reviewed yet that I want to review. Smaller Shin Godzilla thing. It's nothing too crazy, but so probably get 4 Shin Godzilla reviews this week, guys. You get both Marusans here. The details are very good. I'm worried it would be a little soft, but no, yeah. I can't really show it too well because it's the front camera, but the chest is very, very textured and very, very impressive. I'm very proud of what they've done with this, with the chest. The head is just so Shin Godzilla-like with that Marusan eye flare, dude. I love it. And the tail, I haven't even really looked at the tail yet. Tail is creepy. Shin's got to have the heaviest thighs in fiction. It also explains why I love Shin Godzilla so much. I love me some thick thighs. So, anyways, it kind of looks like a raspberry slushy. It makes me a little hungry. I'm not gonna lie. The heaviest size, he's up there. I don't know. Some of those Heisei suits are just chunky thick in the most respectable way possible, mind you. In the most respectable way, very chunky. I'm back. Hello, 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 hello. We're kind of what I miss. Most of the stream, but that's okay. That's okay. The wonderful thing about StreamYard is that you can go back and rewatch. But we're kind of winding down to the end of the stream here. Holy shite. Those details are very, very crisp. The promos photos didn't do it justice. Yeah, Kaminaga killed it. I think he, honestly, this figure is going to take 2000's spot in getting 1,000 different colorways between now and the end of the year. And then next year, I think it's just going to continue. Ortho colorway that he's been doing, it's 100% getting that. I think all three forms, once the third form's out, of course, it's going to get it. Glitters, I love white chocolate Shin Godzilla. Yes, yes, the moon, the Bandai moon color. Even Marusan, he has like that kind of the more pearlescent white. I'd love to see that on this mold. Glitters, they could do any color for Shin glitter wise, and I'm probably going to have to buy it. Hopefully, he doesn't do it a lot. There's definitely not many just blanks or light painted versions of it. I would like to see this color in glitter, or at least a more red, kind of like the anniversary color red Gigan, the painted one. There wasn't a blank for it, I don't believe. I would like to see that in a glitter. Question now, which will be better in terms of Aura, Saru, or Marsan? I actually have answered that already, even though it's a little unfair. Saru, I think Saru's still my favorite, but I think this is a close second or third. I think Shin Godzilla has evolved into food item. Yeah, well, there's the Shin Godzilla, like Awaji Island has Shin Godzilla food. The restaurant that's at the Hotel Glacier, I believe, also has a Shin Godzilla food as well. Which you get. I'll say this: when I get to Japan in February, vlogs up the butt. There's going to be a ton of vlogs. There is definitely going to be the Godzilla themed foods, even the foods that I won't like. I'm going to try to order everything and eat everything, try it all out. Fun fact, my Godzilla was supposed to be similar to Shin. Interesting, interesting. Actually, you know what, Alex? You've inspired me. Let's make it fair. I was going to grab one of the painted Sarus, but that's a little unjust. So let's come on, big guy. Come on, big guy. Let's grab my first Sarajurushi. Let's just put these two next to each other. We're not comparing too much because Shin is Shin, and these are two very different aesthetics for Shin Godzilla. The 2021 version. Okay, interesting. I did not know that they were trying to do a Shin Godzilla vibe. There we go. There they are next to each other. Sarajirushi's red blank and Marusan's what are they? Wine red, I think is what the listing said. I don't know if that's the official title of the colorway, but admittingly, it is kind of a wine pink and red. But yeah, there's the two next to each other. This is definitely one of the taller 350s. It's not the tallest. Ferran and I think Gigan have a little bit more height. Wine red. Okay, it is called wine red. Okay, that's what my listing said. I hadn't seen that before. So the Red Boys Clan, yeah. So it's I feel like the only fair way to kind of judge these, or to look at these two is picking a blank, because this isn't really painted. So I was going to grab the green one, and I was like, that's kind of, not right. But yeah, here's the two next to each other. I'm going to probably have the most of these in my collection by the end of the year. Well, Saru's already number one. This is probably going to be a close number two, or maybe even a number three. Very excited to see different colorways on this. Hopefully he does some of the ones that he did for Godzilla 2000, and hopefully we get some unique ones as well just for Shin. Especially, I want to see something purple. Translucent, glitter, paint. I don't care. I want to see a purple Shin, or even if it was just translucent blank purple, I love it as well. So, but this thing is wonderful. I'm very much a fan of this. Um, if you guys are thinking about getting this, and you don't want to wait for the review, I believe there's like a few left on buy. I'd recommend it because we don't know when the next set of these are going to drop. We don't know if it's going to be another limited lottery where it's one for ones, or if it's going to be closer to the 2000s where you can buy a few at a time. I don't know. Okay, so I personally don't know. So I would recommend getting this one because there's only 60 of these. We do have the number count because that's how many slots for the lottery there were to buy this was 60, and they're one for one for one. Should try new techniques, or hella minus one would be nice. Yes. Oh yeah. I agree. I agree. We I'll say this when it comes to Sarjarushi. I have been hinted at by people that are a little bit closer than I am that there is a new mold in development that's gonna come out at some point. I would guess no time soon, although I have talked to a few other people that there's a hobby round happening in September, and it is possible we could see a new mold there. I would think it's probably going to be safe for Winter Wonderfest, but I'm still a little new to how Sarajarushi and Yamada-san um, work. Hopefully we get a Hell Beast soon, a general Hell Beast release, because I want one. Yeah, supposedly, nothing confirmed. I don't think Yamada or Saru has made an official post, so I'm not going to sit here and speak for them. But that is a little rumor, a little rumor, a little bit of tea that I've heard is that there is a new mold in development, or it's already prepared, and we could see it anytime. So I would just be ready. I don't know who it's going to be. That I wasn't told. I was just told a new mold of some sort was coming, and maybe that's why the Awakening Shin Godzilla isn't getting as much love. It's because they're prepping now for that to release shortly. And who knows? Who knows? But suffice to say, then again, I would like to tease new molds on Facebook. So yeah, on his Instagram and on Sarge Arushi's Instagram and on his personal Facebook, he likes to tease a lot. So I feel like if it was closer to being re-released, we would already be getting teasers. But with Shin, this was shown off October October of 2022. So this was shown off really early ahead. If it's just hypothetically, if it was like a -1, I feel like probably wouldn't tease that one as long. They would just want to hit the hype gates, hype gates right out the bat because it's -1. Better to hit while the iron is hot, as they say. So, but all in all, 8th anniversary for Shin Godzilla. I'm feeling very, very happy, very, very pleased. We had a 2-hour live stream. Thank you guys. Shin is already a 2,000-year-old mold. Yeah. Saru's already almost 2 years, and Marusan's is over 2 or 3 years old. This has been ready. All 3 Shins and Godzilla 2000 and not Destroya, but there's another mold. I don't think that's out yet or is coming out. That's getting a redux or something like that. But I know the 3 Shin Godzilla molds and Godzilla 2000 have been done since like 2018, 2019. So licensing issues is why they haven't been able to be released until now. Especially Shin. Shin just got really, really cheap. Or he got cheaper to produce this past year, which is why there's a lot of new Shins starting this year. Because it's easier to get that license. I guess every 8 years things become cheaper. Toho just kind of had a drop in prices because of -1. I don't really know the story behind that. That's not mine. But yeah, Shin he's been holding back quite a bit, is what I've been told. And there is a reason why he couldn't release these, but that is not a discussion I'm going to have on a live stream. Nothing bad, but there is an actual reason and something I've been told. So, but because it's not 100% confirmed, it's definitely not something I want to talk about out loud on a live stream. That's something I can DM you about later, Alex. Just to be safe and to be respectful to all parties in this situation, because there's a lot of pieces in that story. So, but I'm very happy with the 8th anniversary. I'm glad I could celebrate for a few hours with you guys. I'm glad I could celebrate just Shin in general. But I think we're gonna pull the stream to an end here. I still have to make my dedicated Shin Godzilla, soppy post on Facebook, on Instagram. Probably going to make one on my personal Snapchat, which is kind of weird to think about, but I'm probably going to, do something. And then maybe if I'm lucky, maybe the missus will want to watch Shin Godzilla tonight as well. And, maybe. And then I'll probably watch it again because I watched Ortho 2 days ago. I want to make sure that I watch the normal movie and Ortho. So once she goes to bed, I'll probably end up watching Ortho right before it gets to midnight while I'm working on the reviews for these and getting these ready. So, Shin, number one. It's not even close. -1 got close to topping Shin, but after now having a few months with -1 and a few months of especially comparing the two, and 74 as my top 3, Shin is number 1 in all regards. It's my favorite Godzilla movie, and it's my favorite movie. -1 is a close second in both those categories, and then 74 I would say is a very safe 3. Happy birthday to Shin Godzilla. Happy 8 years, man. You are perfectly imperfect, and I'm very happy we have Shin Godzilla. Very, 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 very honored and happy that we still have Shin Godzilla. And it's still as popular as it is, even if it's not here in the West. As long as it's popular in Japan, where Bandai and Toho and these Sofubi companies are main audiences in Japan. As long as they're eating the Shin Godzilla stuff up, that means we're going to be eating good, even if it's much more expensive for us to get it. It's still a good thing. So, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for coming and joining the discussion. Sharktopus, thank you for just continually, just throwing out fun ideas, fun Shin Godzilla related topics. I really appreciate it, everyone. Alex as well. Thank you guys. We had actually quite a few comments. Zaza, thank you for popping in. Sorry you popped in towards the end, but it's good to see you again and talk. Samuel, thank you. Oh, my voice is dying. That's how you know we've had a 2-hour stream while my voice is dead. Sharktopus Nilo, thank you. Donovan, thank you. We're going through the comments. Going through. Sorry you see my finger. I know that's pretty. Mechagodzilla poster version, thank you for stopping in. Mr. Sun Cheese, I believe is correct pronunciation. Thank you. Goji Slayer 7567, thank you. Watrin5, the GMK guy, Spidey Knight. Thank you all for commenting, joining me for the 8th anniversary. I really, really do appreciate it. And I cannot wait. There's like I said, there's gonna be another stream. I don't know if it'll be the Godzilla against Mechagodzilla stream on Wednesday, but I do plan on streaming again on Wednesday, at least for a little bit, somehow, some way. We're gonna be doing another stream. Won't be Shin locked. This will be the only Shin locked stream this week, just because it's the anniversary. It's a little bit special, but be prepared for the Shin reviews. That's all you're getting this week is Shin reviews. You got four reviews, both Marusans, something else, and a certain Monster Arts that has been making appearances in a few of the reviews. So if you guys have been watching the reviews, you guys know which Shin is getting reviewed. And it's been a long time coming. Almost a year. Which gives it away if you guys know my collection a little bit. So thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day. If you haven't yet, and if you are able, watch Shin Godzilla. Enjoy your night, everyone. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for continuing watching the content. I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Thank y'all so much. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream in the next video. Review tonight. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Sayonara.